Sorry guys, I'm shooting with my iPod today, but what we have here is a fairly rare machine from days gone by. This is the second one I have seen in my lifetime. This is one of the original Compaq Presario 5528 all-in-one desktop computers. These weren't in production for very long. They were primarily a lower end or entry-level home computer, but they're also very popular in small businesses due to their overall size, as well as in educational environments. Now this one has seen better days. This is all going to come off though. I'm going to make this thing look brand new again. I'm going to try to. The only real damage is this tiny little crack here. I'm not sure what caused that. And it looks like the hard drive is possibly bad. I may have to rebuild the machine. The front cover is on incorrectly. It's actually partly coming off. See here. But it's all there. This is the original keyboard. And this is the original mouse. It is disgusting. But right now what I'm doing is evaluating whether or not the machine is worth putting any time or effort into. It looks like I'm going to have to scare up a hard drive. Too bad I threw out that 500 megabyte drive from the old Packard Bell. I've got plenty of larger hard drives, but nothing in the size range that would have been shipped with. These are all 40 gigs and bigger. So I'm going to have to go home and I think I've got one at home that's smaller in size, like a gigabyte maybe. Yeah, there's something going on here. So let's shut her down. The other thing I found is that the display is partly off kilter. So let's take the covers off and we'll take a look at the machine on the inside and out. This, by the way, is my very busy workshop. This is where I work. This is a laptop or a MacBook Pro that I'm doing some work to. I needed a new battery, a CPU fan, and an optical drive. So right now I'm just charging the new battery while I wait for the parts to come in. This is my tool storage. All nice and organized. Alright, so let's take the covers off. Now the front cover comes off with 2 screws in the bottom. I just happen to be at work because this is where my tools are. Typical Compaq screws are, they use a, I believe it's a number 10 Torx, or T10, and flat blade. Look at this thing, it is absolutely disgusting. I mean, like, massively disgusting. I almost don't want to mess with it anymore. Oh God. Okay, so this is what we've got. Oh my God. The entire lower chassis is bent. Obviously this thing had been dropped. We can straighten that out, but I don't know if there's any board damage. It looks like the board is pretty well bent here. Let's see if we can't bend that down somewhat. Not too much. It's not looking good. Here's the hard drive. That I can tell you right now. Where's my finger? Ah, that is a looks like a Mac store from the day. This thing is gross. Look at these speakers. Really oblong. Typical Compaq optical drive right there. Oh man. This is going to be fun. Looking around back, we have motherboard tray. Now this actually slides out. It's uncanny how similar this is, build-wise, to the old Macintosh all-in-one Performa or LC series. They're very similar. They have a lot of similar traits. Now, I don't remember how this panel comes off. I think it just pulls off when you get these thumb screws undone. Or maybe it takes the whole board with it. Yeah, that's how it works. The whole board slides out. And you can see clearly that the motherboard stand is also severely bent. This, I believe, is a 486. Not quite Pentium level yet. It's got a factory modem. And memory slots are right there, 72 pin. This has 24 megabytes of RAM installed. This is a backplane style motherboard, which Compaq was very well known for at the time. So it looks like the backplane board is in good shape, the main backplane. But we also have to get to, oh wow, that's the old Compaq logo. It's slightly different from what you see on the front. Yeah. Luckily, it looks like this whole bottom pan can be screwed right off, so I can straighten that out. But I need to get to the analog board section, which is under this main system cover, because I need to adjust some stuff on the analog board. We have a production date, August of '95. So this is starting to look like a project that I'm not really in the mood for right now. I can clean it up, but I don't know. That hard drive is going to be hard to find, since stupid me got rid of the 500 meg drive that would have been a perfect replacement for it. But I'm going to show you how to get these black marks off, since that's really the issue at stake here. What we're going to use is, I know I have some, here we go, magic eraser and rubbing alcohol. This stuff works great. Take the marks right off. Something was here. I think that it was either a microphone or a document holder. Oh, the spray bottle doesn't work. This one does. I use the alcohol as partway cleaner and partway lubricant. Do a little more. It helps to break the stuff up a little better, I find. So that's going to come off totally. It's just going to take a little bit of elbow grease. Kind of want to buff the whole panel to kind of blend it in a little bit. Throw that bottle away. There are other cleaners you can use, but rubbing alcohol is cheap. Look at that. Like it never happened. Found another blemish here. That I can glue that on so that it doesn't get any worse. But the thing is, these machines, especially this type of machine, these are getting very hard to find. And trying to preserve these things is kind of a losing battle, because a lot of them were beaten up when they were young. Especially the home computers that were used around children. You know, they were beaten to hell. so they wind up in this kind of condition. And you can't blame the people who own them. I mean, you know, I don't blame people for you know, using what they paid for. It just makes it hard to preserve stuff when some of the only few remaining examples are beaten to a pulp, like this one. I mean, I can get it working, but it becomes a, you know, is it worth fixing situation. Now this keyboard, I have some special plans for that. I'm going to wash most of those parts in my dishwasher. But it actually takes off some of the yellowing appearance. If the yellowing is caused by, say, cigarette smoke, it takes a lot of that off, and it does a beautiful job. But this is about as good as I'm going to get it with a rag. But when I take the magic eraser to it, it'll bring it to a whole new level of clean. So next thing I need to do, though, is we're going to clean this motherboard off with compressed air and try to get that looking nice, and take the outer cover off. Good thing I have my security bit set because I'm going to need it. Get the cover off and take a look at that CRT. I think I can adjust it, shift the image over where it's supposed to be. Okay, we've broken into the heart of the beast. The whole back cover comes off as one piece and is held in by 4 screws. There's really not much else to say. The CRT is made by Philips. And let's check this cooling fan while we're in here and make sure it's not frozen. A good running cooling fan should be able to move a little bit and rock back and forth on its own. If it doesn't do that, the bearings are going. This one's in pretty good shape. Now we've got to find the adjustment on the, here we go, horizontal center. That's the one you want to change. Subcontrast and ABL, that would be auto balance something maybe. Alright, so we're going to slide the motherboard back in. I've already cleaned the board as well as I can. So we'll just pop that back in. This bottom pan is going to come off and we're going to pound it flat. Get that all taken care of. There we go. So let's right it up. And we'll fire it up. Now, some of you younger viewers probably have never seen this before, and those of you who don't own vintage computers of your own or even television sets. But you've probably noticed that every TV screen or computer monitor in your house or that you've ever seen has had digital adjustments on the front. That wasn't always true. These older machines are completely analog, or the older CRTs were analog controlled. And sometimes they had adjustments on the front where you could adjust the horizontal center or vertical or whatever. That isn't the case in this one. So what we're going to do is use some special tools that I bought 1.5 million years ago. They're designed to protect me from high voltages. If I can find the damn things. Maybe they're in my toolbox. My workshop is a bit of a mess right now. Maybe they're in here. Here they are. Ta-da! These are adjustment tools that are insulated, and they're designed to prevent transfer of high voltages between the tools and my fingers. I don't use them very much these days, but they come in handy. So what we're going to do is, so we have all of our adjustments right here. Vertical center, vertical size, something pin VGA, horizontal phase, horizontal size, horizontal phase, horizontal size. Okay. And if you've never worked on a CRT before, don't ever come anywhere close to this right here. This is your high voltage aperture. And the adjustment that we're going to be making is the horizontal center, which is on the very back here. And sometimes, even though these adjustments may not have been moved, their values drift over time, and they don't always maintain their proper configuration here. There we go. That's about as good as it gets. It's perfect, actually. Now, one of these does pin cushion. I'm going to just work this one back and forth a little bit because it seems to be a little shaky. Just try to use tiny movements to achieve the desired results. Aww. Alright, let's try that again. That's close enough. Now, focus looks pretty good. Now, this it looks bad on the iPod, but anyway. Oh well. Obstructed view. Focus looks pretty good on this one. If I hit escape, I can see the text. Yeah, see, that's pretty sharp. It's actually not bad at all. And there we go. Contrast down. Yeah, see, this screen's in pretty good shape. There's an error in the config sys file. It's trying to load it. Here's what we'll do. Let's do an F5 on this, see if we can even get it started. Just do a safe mode boot. Keyboard error. Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about those. So what's happening was I couldn't adjust the horizontal using the control knob here. Something was way off, and it turned out to be that potentiometer. Oh wow, this still has the F10 setup in it. That was a hidden partition on the hard drive that it's kind of hard to replace if you don't have the original software. Computer checkup. Let's do a view system information on this. Let's see what we've got. Funny how that works. I can't change the refresh rate on this camera, so sorry. Okay, this thing is nicer than I thought. It is a Pentium 75. That's pretty cool. This is the first generation Pentium. Notice how it doesn't have a cooling fan. CPU, real mode, Presario 5500 series. Let's see. System storage. Compaq, it's a Sony CD-ROM drive. We have a 1 gigabyte hard drive, which I think I have one of those at home. It's a Connor peripherals. Oh my god. That's right, Compaq used to use those. No way. Should have 24 megabytes of RAM, and it does. Good. Alright, well, let's go ahead and try to restart this in safe mode. It does have the factory image still on it, which is pretty cool. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm zeroing out these adjustments here, and then we're going to get it to a perfect happy medium. That way we can go up and down either way. You can skip the memory test. Good. This might be salvageable. It's kind of a cool little machine. Again, the only one I've ever seen was a 486 version. It was a little bit older than this one. And it was given to me by a friend who actually worked for a Goodwill store, who brought home a truckload of computers. Good, we're bypassing startup files. gave me a truckload of computers, and in that truckload, and I'm not even joking you, it was like a pickup truck filled to the brim with computer equipment. There was one of these. It was a 486. It looks like there's some stress cracking going on here. This thing was abused badly, but a lot of this stuff can be fixed. Look at how flimsy this thing is. Flimsy. I was hoping to see a recovery disk in this drive, but no can do. Okay, so it turns out these adjustments are for each video mode. VGA, SVGA, 72 Hz phase, horizontal. In 8514, I believe that's an emulation mode, which is kind of interesting. VGA center, size, and pin, so got some stuff to mess with here. But I think in all the abuse and droppage or whatever else has happened to this poor little thing, a lot of these settings are just out of whack. Not to mention, the components are aging badly. I don't see any burst capacitors, so that really wasn't an issue back in those days. Instead, ESR would go up and you would never know it, and they would have other issues. It is booting. Now I've gotten further. Now I'm at a desk or a Windows desktop-ish. What am I going to do with this thing if I fix it? I don't freaking know. Does anyone? It's not like I'm dying for a Compaq, or pining for one even. But I would like to save this. It's a pretty cool system, nevertheless. We're getting there. In the meantime, I've broken this chip off completely and re-glued it. So that now it's, you know, better attached. We're getting there, baby. We're getting there. Alright, let's set the horizontal center. Horizontal size, pin. Here it is. Horizontal center. Okay, let's just get that squared away. We've got the potentiometer, or the knob centered as best we can. That's perfect. Now vertical, center, VGA. Bring that down a little bit. Vertical size looks good. Oh, the VGA pin is actually for pin cushion. Perfect. Okay. That's it. So the machine is running under its own steam now. I'm going to run a check disk on it. See what I can do with it. Oh my god, this thing's loaded. Here's another example of data that probably should have been erased long ago, but, you know, I can't fault the person because this thing is so damn old, the data's probably just as old. So, anyway. I know I've been known to rip people for leaving data on machines carelessly. And I have a reason for it. But this thing was only partially functioning, so trying to get the accessories menu to load so I could run a scan disk. There we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Drive space, scan disk. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it'll find lost clusters, it'll fix them, everything will be great and happy and dandy. Other times you have to rebuild the damn thing, and unfortunately I don't think I can get drivers for this anymore. Compaq has, I believe, shut down a lot of their old driver sites. Oh, some guy named Greg owned this. Let's do a standard check and just see where we are. Start these. I'll get back to you in a minute. as the hard drive cries its life away, I slowly die inside, realizing that I will never, ever get this thing going again. And here's why. I don't have another drive this small that I know of. Actually, I may. Oh, it's done. Bye-bye. And if I do, I don't have a copy of Windows version B, 95 version B. Son of a bitch. I have version C. I guess I could try that, but still doesn't make this any easier. Furthermore, I don't have the drivers that shipped with this thing. I'll put it back together and try something, I guess, but I don't know, we'll see. Amazingly enough, it's all still available. They still have the F10 setup utility, they still have the original ROM packs, PC setup, they have drivers for the keyboard and mouse, video drivers, and there should be an audio driver here somewhere. Let's see. The diagnostic software. Not seeing the audio driver. That could be a problem. Let's see. There's a lot of cool stuff here that I'm going to miss out on. But we'll see what I can do. I mean, I have no choice. I have to replace that hard drive. So I'm going to go home and put this thing back together. And I've cleaned up most of it. For a reference, this faceplate is what the machine used to look like all over. And it was gross. I'll get up close so you can see it. And some good lighting here. You can really get the feel for what it looked like in its grossness. This is what the back cover now looks like on the outside. These were all black marks. I still have some black marks here I need to get rid of, but look at that. Nice and clean. I got to get rid of these marks. But looking good so far. I've blown all the dust out of the system unit. Cleaned the display bezel as best I can. Fixed that chip in the plastic right here. I still have a black mark to get rid of here now, and that's just going to stay like that is. Overall, looking pretty good. Monitor's clean, so we're going to put the covers back on, and oh yeah, and I blew all the dust out of the bottom and as much of it out of here as I could. No more dust bunnies. Look at that. Here's the faceplate. And I got the iPod holding upside down. There we go. Alright. So here's the faceplate, all cleaned up except for that. That is a scratch. One of the great things about these magic erasers is that the magic is that they're actually somewhat abrasive. And the only reason they work is by rubbing into the pores of the plastic and actually eroding away at whatever is on the surface. So we're going to use a magic eraser to get rid of that. Okay. Alright, so we've eliminated those gouges. We've actually wear leveled the plastic all the way down. It erodes a little bit of the texture away, but not enough to where you actually notice it. And what looks better, a scratch or eroded plastic? Okay, so we've got the faceplate back on. You can see it pretty clearly now. This tab here would not latch. I had to actually use a lighter and melt the plastic a little bit to get it to latch again. Hopefully that doesn't break off now. But anyway, I still got to finish cleaning up over here, but at least I can get the thing home now and start working on a rebuild. I pounded the bottom cover flat as best I could, within reason. It's not interfering with anything, so I'm not worried about it now. There you go, the Compaq. Okay, so now we're going to see the machine next to its original keyboard and mouse. Look at that. Beautiful, clean, crisp. Just like it came from the factory, and oh my god. That's just bad. It's got paint on it. Yeah, that's paint alright. Gross. Well, we're going to take this home and I'm going to wash those keys and